All right, I'm going to show you how to use staff paper. So staff paper is paper meant for music writing, and the 5 lines included in a different clefs are already written for you on the page. So here I've got, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 staves that I can write. Now, if you're just writing a single voice, it's normally going to be treble clef, not necessarily. So let me show you how I draw a treble clef. I do a little circle. Some people do a little line. Let's erase that. Then I go straight up like this, just above the staff. I make a little curve and then a big swirl, and the swirl goes around the second line because that's the G line and this is the G clef, which we often call the treble clef. And then I want to draw my bar line, so I'm going to go ahead and draw a bar line back here, and I'll draw a bar line here. And then I usually split it in half, and if I want to, I can split those in half again. And now I'm all ready to go. I can write my time signature. Let's say it's 4/4, and I'm writing in the key of G, so I would write a sharp. But you don't need to write all of that. This is plenty. In fact, I'm even going to erase the time signature. Just going to leave it like that. Another thing we can do is, if we're writing for piano, and if we want to indent the music, like you see a lot of music indented at the beginning, we'll start with our bar line here. We'll go ahead and draw the bar lines. In fact, I think I usually do this first. And then I'll draw my clef. I did the line that time, just as something different instead of the circle, doesn't matter. And I'll draw a bass clef because now I'm going to write for piano. So we have our left hand and our right hand. And then we have our little bracket, which is like a shield. Little arrow and then a shield. You don't have to write all of that. But that's how I start writing my music, is I actually take the time to write off my stabs first. I do my lines in that order. And again, for this next one, I'll do this. If I was writing for piano, I probably would have started here anyway, even though there's an even number of lines and this will leave me an odd number of lines. That way I have some, it's not very practical to write on this small space down here. So I probably would have left that blank, and if I needed to make notes, then there's room for that and room up top for a title and notes as well. So I actually kind of like starting one line after and then using what I've got. Let me draw one more as an example. And you know, these aren't supposed to be super pretty. They're not works of art. They're meant to be pretty fast. So you'll notice I drew these pretty quickly, and while they're not quite as nice looking as these, they still are obviously a treble clef and a bass clef. So don't spend too much time getting your lines perfectly straight. Just line, 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 clefs, and then start writing away. And when I write my notes, I tend to write them pretty quickly as well. So let's write a C, E, G, E. I do my dots first so that they've got a nice even space. They're all quarter notes, and then I draw my lines. I can always go back and make them a little darker if they're not legible. And then maybe I have half note, half note. Again, it's not a work of art, but if I want to go back and make it a little more legible, that's fine. There we go, it's fine. And then we'll end on an E, a nice whole note E. Looks like this was in 4/4. Okay, so there's some examples of how to write. If you're not sure what duration to write the notes, then you might even write a clef and then just write your, you could write quarter notes. Let's say I'm just trying to do a scale. So I might write my quarter notes like this, line, 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 line. And I might not play them as quarter notes. I'm just writing notes. Or if I'm not sure what these are, maybe I'll just write some letters, but I like using the staff paper because it makes me a little more inspired to write music. So again, this at a more basic level, I might write C, and then I'm going up to D, and then I'm going way up to F, and then I know that my E is down here. So now I have like kind of general directions, but I'm not sitting there remembering that the C is on the ledger line and the D is the space below the line. I'm just writing my letters, and that helps me play my piece. Okay, if you have any questions, let me know, and have fun writing.